Welcome to Celebrity 702. My name is Freddie. I'll be your host for today, and today I have a very special guest. She is a dancer, a choreographer, and instructor, and her name is Shelby Jordan.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. It's a beautiful day outside.
It is keeping cool, right?
Yeah, in the shade.
In the shade, right? Well, let's get this interview started. Where were you born?
I was born in Las Vegas, Nevada. I was born and raised here. Grew up in North Las Vegas, so I'm a real Vegas girl.
You're a real Vegas girl, that's right. And you're Latino, right?
Mm-hmm.
Latino descendant?
Yeah, my mother is Mexican and Spanish, so that's where my Latino side comes from.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice. And like your mom's side of the family, like Mexican in the Spanish part?
Mm-hmm, yeah, and they all live out here now too, so we're like all one big family out here.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
Are they like the hardcore Latinos where they talk Spanish and do like carne asada?
Well, yeah, we do all the cooking, but my grandmother had 7 kids, so they didn't teach them Spanish so that they could speak about them in front of them.
Really?
As like a barrier. So
Wow.
that's why my mom doesn't speak Spanish, is because her grandmother didn't teach her on purpose. Because she wanted her privacy.
That's kind of smart. Alrighty, and you were raised here as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yep, went through all the schools, elementary, middle school, and high school. Graduated out here.
Graduated out here, wow.
Mm-hmm.
What school did you graduate?
I graduated from the Las Vegas Academy of Performing Arts.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why you're a dancer.
I know, I was a dancer there, a dance major.
Right. And let's see, your mom and dad, who were you closer with?
I'm closest with my mom. You know, we're both performers, so we have like a lot in common. I can always ask her a lot of professional advice, as well as just like regular mom advice.
That's nice.
Yeah, which is like a really good tool, because like a lot of girls are out here like doing it by themselves, and I've had the advantage of like listening to my mom and have her wise words, so it really helps out.
That's awesome. It's really good. And what were your grades in school?
I was a good student. I graduated with an advanced diploma.
Wow.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know how my dance classes factored into like my grades, but I was pretty good in school.
Good. And were you ever bullied in school?
I was bullied like when I was younger, not in like high school, but I was bullied as like a kid when I had like a unibrow and because of my arm hair, yeah, so they kind of attacked my like one eyebrow, but I plucked it now, so.
What were your nicknames that they gave you?
They would call me just Unibrow. They're very creative.
Aww.
They're like, Unibrow! Or they would ask me if I hibernated in the winter because I was so hairy. But I was like so like little, I didn't get it. I was like, yeah, I'm a bear.
Well, haters, look at her now. She's being interviewed. She's a superstar, and hate on that.
With a unibrow, who cares?
With a unibrow, right? And what were your favorite cartoons growing up, or TV show?
My favorite TV show was Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I've seen that all the seasons, all the way through at least 3 times. I know exactly how each episode goes. It's my favorite show.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. What was your favorite singer growing up?
My favorite singer was my mom.
Your mom, aw.
She's my favorite singer.
Shout out to your mom.
I know. But besides my mom, who did I listen to a lot growing up? Like Britney Spears, you know, all the music videos and like the dances. I loved pop stars like that. I'm super into pop stars. Like the Cheetah Girls.
Yeah.
I saw them in concert once. My first boyfriend that I had for like a month was in 7th grade. His name was Adrian. That was my first boyfriend, yes. And then I didn't have another boyfriend until I was a senior in high school, and even then I only dated him for like 2 months too. So I didn't have a lot of boyfriends growing up.
Or no.
Yeah, I was focused on dance and like my own friends. I was like not super into like having a boyfriend when I was a teenager.
Yeah. How was what did your mom say when you had your first boyfriend? Did she approve or?
Oh, my first boyfriend. Well, I think she knew it was like a young boy in high school, and she was like, "Is that really your boyfriend?" Because we never went out or did anything. We just like held hands in class. And then I think the same thing. She didn't take my boyfriend in high school seriously either. She was like, you know.
That's
Child love.
Child love, right? That's good. She didn't really like.
Oh yeah, she was never like strict about like not dating boys or not going out or anything like that.
Yeah. Good. You did with your friends.
One crazy thing I did with my friends after I graduated high school.
During high school or after you graduated?
During high school, my friends and I, we always liked going, like, we had one friend that could drive, and so we'd always go out and watch the sunsets at Red Rock, or we'd drive all the way out to Zion and do those hikes and stuff like that. So my friends and I, like, that was the crazy stuff we did. We always, like, went out and, like, did hiking trips all by ourselves. So I think that was fun.
Nice. That sounds like a lot of fun, especially when you're like a teen.
Yeah, we got one friend with a car and a license.
Right, yeah. It's like a movie or something,
I know,
right?
she's probably so sick of driving people around.
What was one thing that you did that was really bad and like you remember the most?
I remember the one time I lied to my mother, and it was, I was in a chat room online. I was probably like, I don't know, like 12, and then I like told someone, I was like, I live in Las Vegas, and because it was a child's chat room, it like turned off the internet because I broke the rules of the chat room, and my mom was so mad at me, and I had like lied and said something about like how it wasn't my fault, but then she found out it was, and I didn't have like an email address for like 3 years or something like that.
Really?
Yeah, my mom's very easygoing, except if you lie. And then your life is over.
Right.
So then after that moment, I never lied to my mother.
Right now in life?
I'm super happy where I'm at in life right now. A year ago, I was working in a restaurant, and now I work in fantasy and at MJ Live, and I'm really proud of the progress I made in my professional career.
Nice. Good. And what is something that you regret the most not doing?
I regret not being put in like contortionist classes. I feel like a lot of stuff would be so much easier for me now in life if I was just way more flexible. That would take, like, for a dancer, like, flexibility is like so important. So I wish when I was younger I was like, you know, forced to have that crazy turnout, but you know, that's my only regret. Besides that, I really don't regret everything. I feel like everything I do, I like believe what I do, and if I mess up, then I'll apologize, but I'm not going to apologize for like making the mistake in the first place.
Nice. And do you have any kids right now?
No, just me and my dog.
And your dog.
Yeah.
That's your kid, right? Yeah,
I'm not focused on kids right now. I love my boyfriend, but I'm just
And you have a boyfriend?
Yeah, I have a boyfriend, but I'm just enjoying our life right now. So I don't have any kids yet.
That's good. You're both probably young, so might as well enjoy
he's like only 2 years older
youth.
than me, so we're not rushing.
Right, yeah, definitely. And how does a man conquer your heart?
Through consistency, because I felt like my boyfriend was he like, you know, chased after me, and I was kind of like, at first I was like, no, it's okay, but like he was always consistent, he was always there in our relationship. He's consistent with like watching after me or caring for me or being, you know, he's just always been consistent, and so I can really trust and depend on him, and I think that's what like really won me over. Nice. And he's so cute. Super cute.
Shout out to your boyfriend. And what is something that you need to do in life to make you feel like you're complete or your life is complete?
I need to, for me to feel complete, I want to make sure I'm not hiding anything from anybody. You know, everything's out in the open. I have nothing to hide. I don't have any secrets to hold from anyone. I can always be my authentic self and never be worried about a lie I maybe told someone, or, you know, was hiding something from someone. If you're just 100% all the time, you don't have to worry about how you present
and
yourself
you're hiding
to other people.
stuff for now.
I know.
I won't ask you what those
My deep dark
secrets are. And what is something that you need to do in life to make your life perfect?
For me, I don't know if you can be perfect. I would be scared to reach perfection because I'm always like trying to improve myself or one-up myself or make a new challenge. So for me, reaching the top of perfection isn't very appealing because then there's nowhere more room to grow and there's nothing to strive for after you hit perfection.
Good question. Yeah, you wouldn't have nothing to strive for if you had it all, probably, or
Yeah, it makes it less
perfect.
interesting and then less of a, because being a dancer, you're like always trying to do better, work on yourself, and so.
Definitely. Good answer. And moving on to your career, how and when did it all start?
It started all at once, actually, because I was working at a restaurant a year ago, and then around August, I got a call out of nowhere, because I auditioned for MJ Live like a year ago, or before that call, and I hadn't heard back. I never heard anything, and then they needed girls, so they had remembered me, and they called me and offered me a position, and I said yes, and so I started rehearsals for that, and then I auditioned for Coyote Ugly, like maybe around the same time, and so I started that at the same time, so I was working those two at the same time, and then I quit Coyote in the beginning of January because I auditioned and got Fantasy, so I had all these, like, I had 2 shows, I had this other working gig, and once I quit my waitressing job I knew, I felt like I had gone off that cliff, that pushing point where I was like, I'm going to completely support myself with dancing and nothing else. And it's been working out pretty good so far.
It's been working out? Awesome. That must be really nice to do like what you want as a living, and not having like to have like a job where you say, oh, I hate my job, and
or it's not something you're interested in, or you don't have a passion about it. I'm really passionate about dance, so it makes the job easier for me. It's really fun.
And you said you chose dancing because you're passionate about it, right?
Yeah, even if I wouldn't have become a dancer, I still have like a performer aspect of my personality. I took a test in high school and it said for me to succeed I need to have an unconventional working environment. So I think dancing's pretty unconventional as a working environment, so
definitely.
That's how I see.
And you were a dance teacher or dance instructor. How was that like?
It was fun. It was with like little kids. I like teaching the little kids. Oh, you taught
little kids?
Yeah, I like teaching the little kids. When I was a dance teacher, now I teach adults, and I teach at a pole studio, and I like teaching the adults too because I teach like these women a lot about how to be sexy and how to find like they're working out and how to just kind of find the confidence, because it takes a lot of confidence to do pole dancing, especially if you have like no prior experience with it. So I really like doing that now too. So I taught little kids and I teach grown women now too.
Did you feel like you struggled like bringing out your sexiness, or like your sexiness when you started like dancing, especially that you're in the show Fantasy where it's like sexy?
You have to be sexy. I felt like I'm a goofy person, so I had to like make sure when I danced I wasn't dancing like goofy or like cutesy and young, because I look very young. So I did have to like take a lot of heels classes and like look at myself in the mirror and just make sure I was like trying to become that sexy character, you know? Maybe
Definitely.
Not so goofy.
And how long did it take you like to like actually feel like you're comfortable like being sexy on stage or bringing out your sexiness?
till I feel comfortable on stage, it took me like maybe 3 shows to get over all that like jitters and nervousness, and just to like be confident with the choreography, the music, and then just like hit it out of the park.
Do you still have that jitters or nervous before the show?
Sometimes when I learn a new part in the show and I'm trying something for the first time, or if I have a new part of freestyle I'm trying out, I do get nervous. So sometimes it still creeps in a little bit.
But normally it's just like, oh, I'm here and I got this. And
now it's muscle memory. Yeah, I know the show, so it's a lot easier when it's muscle memory.
Yeah, definitely. And what is your favorite kind of dancing or like dancing style?
I love variations of jazz. So I like jazz funk, jazz like Broadway jazz. I like doing hip hop. Those are like my 3 favorite styles of dance that I like to do the most, and I feel like look the best on me.
They fit the most, yeah, definitely. And you were a choreographer. How does that like is that hard, or?
It's a lot harder. I much prefer having someone teach me something. I had to choreograph a magic show, and it was really, up to that point, it was the hardest thing. Yeah, it was the hardest thing I had to do, because, you know, you're not just worried about your dancing, you're worried about the girls next to you, about all the formations, about exits and entrancing, and making sure the choreography's clean and teaching it to them and coming up with all the choreography. So it was a lot harder. Being a choreographer is a lot more work than just being a dancer.
Just being a dancer. And is it like frustrating, like when one of the girls or one of the guys is not learning the moves?
It's slower.
Yeah, it's like slower.
No, because then that's something you should be looking at as a teacher, you know, like why aren't they picking it up as fast? Are you not explaining it correctly? Are you not, because sometimes it's like easy to get wrapped up, like I know how to do it, so you have to really slow down and make sure that each person gets it. So I think if someone's not getting it, you need to maybe look inward and see how come you're not teaching it better.
And what was that show, magic show you were?
It was in China. I was there for 2 months.
It was in China?
Yeah, I was in Shanghai.
Wow.
I was there for 2 months. It was with the magician Joaquin Ayala. It was the Ayala solo tour. Wow. And it was I really loved China. It was super fun.
That's awesome.
And it was my first time ever in Asia too.
And how was it, successful, or?
Yeah, it was really fun. People in China really like magic shows.
Shows.
And it was a big illusion show, so it's like a lot of crowd.
Yeah, definitely. The different cultures and different like.
Yeah, it was totally different. It was totally flipped. Everything's.
You said that you were there for 2 months?
2 months,
That's a long time.
Yeah, it's so different. Just being in a place where you can't even read. Like you can't even pronounce the letters of the like even begin to speak Chinese.
Definitely.
And then, you know, you look so different from everyone else. And it's really bad for your ego. You go out there and people just like, you're so pretty, you're so pretty. And then you're like, stop, no. And you come
Tell me more. Please
keep going. But like, people would have me take pictures with their babies, or they would take pictures of me like grocery shopping. Like,
that's awesome though.
Paparazzi. It was.
I would love that.
Interesting. I would love it. It was fun.
I'm a attention, what is it called?
An attention whore?
Yeah. So I would love all that.
And that's where you belong.
Yes. And let's see. You were also a choreographer for this group called Funk.
Oh, Funk Crew or Funk Squad. Funk Squad was it was a like, collaborative effort. It was 4 of us. It was 2 girls and 2 guys, and we were a dance crew together. We did some like charity events.
Oh, did you? What kind of choreography or what kind of like dance did you do?
That was like a lot of hip hop.
A lot of hip hop.
Yeah, I did a girls piece. Me and the other girl collaborated on a girls piece we had in that dance crew, and then most of the other choreography was done by the guys in the crew.
What's the difference between like dancing hip hop and like dancing like jazz, or like how do you even dance jazz?
Jazz is like more technical. It's like where you're doing like technical work like turns and leaps, and things like that. And then hip hop kind of throws all of those rules out the window, and it's like just mimicking that person's style, because hip hop is all about style, it's all about confidence and like hold yourself. So it is kind of like a flip, you know. One you can be much more technical doing, and one you have to have much more style for it to look good, you know.
Definitely. Yeah, and so you said you like more hip hop and jazz.
Yeah, I like hip hop because it's like more fun.
More fun.
I grew up always taking ballet classes, so I feel like hip hop's kind of rebelling. So it's a fun
rebelling,
thing.
right?
Yeah.
And you were a go-go dancer, right? And how do you like that go-go dancing versus like being in a show where you have like choreography?
I like the choreography more. I did a lot of go-going when I was at the Coyote Ugly bar, and then it's a lot of freelancing go-go work. I do like go-going because it's freestyle, but I much like doing a show more. It's just the time goes by faster. Because you know what you're doing.
And you're probably there like less time than...
Yeah, for go-going you're there for hours, and for a show it's usually within
Do you get tired like go-going? Like...
Well, you take breaks, so you like switch on. Usually it's like 30 minutes on, 30 minutes off. So you like dance your heart out for 30 minutes, and then I'll take a nap. I'll go in the back and set a timer and like sleep, wake back up, come back out for my shift. So that's how most of the girls do it. Or just like sit back there and relax and then go out. It's usually 30 on, 30 off.
How true is it, I heard this like a rumor, how true is it that like people like go-go's take like a drug or...
Oh really? To keep them up?
Yeah, to keep them up.
No! I mean not in my experience, because like you usually only do it for like 4 hours.
Okay.
And like 4 hours is not a full work day, and then when you're only working half of that hour anyways, it's not that hard.
It's not that hard.
I don't think girls need to go to that level for their go-go dancing career, but maybe some have, but I haven't done that or have needed to, you know. I don't need the extra boost of energy.
You probably already have it, and you just enjoy it probably.
Yeah, just like play the music, and I'm just...
We're at the MJ Live, Michael Jackson Live at the Stratosphere. How's that like? That's
really great. It's actually a funny coincidence because that was my first show in that showroom up in the Stratosphere, and then my mother's first show as a dancer was in the same showroom.
Really? Yeah. Was she in American All-Stars?
I don't know if that was...
Oh, okay.
It was a while ago, so I don't know exactly what the show was, but it's not the same show that it is now. Yeah. MJ's been there. Kind of, it's our newest showroom that we're in. We used to be at the Rio, but now we're at the Stratosphere. But it's cool. I like it. It's a fun. You get to do Michael Jackson every night. It has a live band. It's super fun dancing to a live band. I like it a lot. It's a good contrast from doing fantasy. So like more hip hop. Michael Jackson moves to like showgirl moves. I like the transition.
MJ Live, you do more like probably hip hop or...
Yeah, like... hip hop, and like a lot of moves from all his like music videos we try to recreate, you know, so it's fun being able to do that choreography, getting to do like Thriller.
Yeah. And fantasy, that's one of the biggest shows you have as well, right? You're performing?
Yeah, and it's been out for a long time. Fantasy's been going on for 18 years, so for any show to have that kind of longevity, it's really great to be a part of it, because, you know, they're obviously doing something right with their formula for their show to be so successful for so long, and 7 days a week too. So I'm really happy that I can be in 2 really great successful shows, because they're both 7 days a week.
How do you like performing for fantasy?
I like that a lot too. It's like with the fantasy, the focus is more on the dancer, because in MJ Live I'm the backup to the Michael Jackson impersonator, who does a great job. But in fantasy, it's a little bit more the spotlight's on me, you know, like they say our names, they cheer for you, like we all get an individual bow. So I do like that about fantasy, how it's like the focus is on me, and I'm not so much a backup dancer, but they're both still great.
And it is a topless show. Did you struggle?
I thought I would, but I was just so much more worried on my opening night about the choreography or the blocking. I didn't have time to focus on being embarrassed like at all. So it was, and you know, I grew up out here. My mom was in the show before. All of her friends danced topless, so it was just kind of normal for me. Since my mom wasn't judgmental about it, I know a lot of people worry about what their parents will say. So if my mom wasn't worried about it, then I really had no reason not to.
Definitely. So you were like you grew up in that ambient and so
in
you're
that environment.
used to it,
Yeah, so I'm used to it. I know it's not a strip, you know, club. I know it's like a classy show with like beautiful costumes.
Definitely.
And it's like great singing, so I have no qualms about being topless at all.
Topless, right? Yeah. And it's like an art almost, right? Like
yeah, it's very artistic, you know, like the Moulin Rouge in Paris does it. Like there's a lot of beautiful shows, and then just an aspect of it is that it's topless, you know?
Definitely.
And people love
have you ever like been stalked or followed by
not by people for the show. I've had people been too close when I was a waitress by giving me gifts and things like that. There are people that are a fan of the show that do come to see it often and do recognize you by name or come to see me in my other shows. Like people might come to see me in MJ Live, but it's like nowhere near like inappropriate or stalking. They're just like fans of the show.
So you don't have like a creep stalking you after the show, after Fantasy?
No. Yeah, and then we have security guards and we walk to our cars together, so I've never had any trouble with that.
We end this interview. I want to play a game with you, and I challenge you to pick 6 little papers.
Little papers?
And do what it says.
do what it says? Are some of these dares? Do I pick one at a time or all of them?
One at a time.
Okay. Oh, this one's long. Say this tongue twister. Oh my god, I'm so good at these.
Are you?
Be ready. Okay. Peter Piper picks a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked? I told you I was so good. Okay.
You are good.
I was so surprised. I was like on a roll with that one. I was like, come at me.
Oh my goodness.
Let me see. Do your best Shakira impersonation. Oh, I know. I always say this, and then people never get my reference, but when she's like, whenever, wherever. You know that song?
Yeah, that like
I know.
Tone, right?
That song, but that's my favorite. Whenever. That song. Thank
Good.
you. Okay. Number 3. Say the name of your ex you regret dating the most. Ew! All of them. Everyone before my man. But no, I don't think there's anyone I like specifically regret. No, they're all mistakes before my current boyfriend. Right? Okay, number 4.
I'm pretty sure your boyfriend would appreciate that. What you said.
Do you have a foot fetish? You can skip this question if you don't want to answer. No, I don't. And I've never experienced anyone who has had one. So, I don't know. No one's ever asked me, but I've also never asked anyone. Like,
anybody.
I'm all about foot rubs. If you want to give me a foot massage, that's great. But you don't need to like put it in your mouth.
In your mouth, like right? That's kind of weird, right?
Yeah. Okay. Number 5. Have you ever had sex in an airplane? No, I have not.
Not yet.
Also, not yet. But, you know, those are pretty cramped spaces, you know?
Yeah.
You really got to be ballsy to, like,
I don't even know how people do that.
Yeah, the bathrooms are, like, small, and then...
It's stinky.
And then, like, in the seats, those seats are not clean.
Not clean at all.
Okay, this is my last one. Let me see. Especially if people are having sex in them.
Oh, my God.
Are you a twerker? Oh, I am a twerker.
Are you a twerker, really?
When I teach my pole classes, I teach girls how to twerk in them, so I think I'm a pretty good twerker.
Are you?
I give Miley Cyrus a run for her money.
Right? Yep. Mm-hmm. Well, thank you so much, Shelby, for being with us today.
You.
And if people want to follow you on social media, like, and the stuff that you do, how can you do that?
My Instagram is Shwelbee. It's SHWELBEE. And I'm in Fantasy and in MJ Life. So if you want to see me, you can see me in any of those shows.
Definitely stop by, and you guys at Fantasy, you have a meet and greet, so they can say hi and all that.
Come say hello.
Well, thank you so much, Shelby.
Thank you.
Alrighty.